7 is currently on. If you have not cast your attendance, please do so right now. I will have it on for another 30 seconds.
Ready?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
All right, we're going to do our sound checks first. So, Maureen, downtown campus.
Downtown campus checking in.
All righty. Okay. Polytechnic.
Yeah, said us. Said
yes.
West Campus. Oh, West.
You say West or Poly?
Does he
Yeah,
West?
yeah.
Yes, yeah, Polytechnic campus. Sorry, we thought you said West.
Wait a minute, say that again.
Polytechnic campus checking in for the sound check.
Okay, I was hearing double voices there. Okay. All right. Tempe, LaDawn, are we good?
MP's here.
And Hala King, West Campus. Hala? Sound check for West?
Yes, we are here.
All right.
No worries.
I'm going to welcome everyone to the meeting and I'm going to bang this to bring us to order. And then we're going to do a quorum calculation, Maria.
Okay, everyone, welcome. So you should see in front of you the quorum for Senate meeting number 7, which campus, please select the campus which you represent. A for downtown, B for Polytechnic, C for Tempe, and D for West. Okay, couple more seconds. Thank you. We're going to move on to the second poll. The second poll reads, DAL-E is a generative AI program, a companion robot, or the new Roomba. Please make your selection. Okay, we're going to close the poll. The results, Penny, the results are A. It's a generative AI program.
Just making sure y'all paying attention. All right, okay. So the minutes for our last Senate 2023 were distributed online for your consideration. Are there any corrections or additions to the minutes? Hearing none, the minutes are approved as distributed. Hey, I'm going to give you my report. So welcome to our seventh Senate meeting of this academic year. I hope everyone's semester is going well, and I just have a couple of things to report. Just so you know, we will be standing up a financial task force to examine the many fiscal questions we get at the UAC. We will let you know as soon as it's ready to receive inquiries. Last Thursday, the Academic Attainment and Education Committee of the Board of Regents met. There was a discussion and a vote on reorganizing the current committees, and the vote was successful. And going forward, the AAEA, Academic Attainment and Education Committee, will be part of the University Governance and Operations Committee. In addition, ABOR admission standards were reviewed and possible revisions were discussed. Please, this is important to keep up with. Please note that at any time you can visit the ABOR website to see actions taken by the board, attend the public portion of ABOR meetings, and see past recordings. You should kind of keep an eye on what's happening there, as it does directly affect us and the other universities. I'm now going to read the Senator Spotlight, which is Barry Moon. Barry Moon combines various forms of art and technology to create works that encourage meaningful interactions between humans and computers. This includes music compositions, interactive installations, and digital art. He has created numerous performance works and installations incorporating video processing. His work with the collective was presented at the 2012 Havana Biennial. His duo with Doug Nottingham, Pincushion, performing the electronic music and video, toured the U.S. extensively in 2014. Barry Moon is an associate professor in the Interdisciplinary Arts and Performance program at ASU West Campus. His Boz Tutorials channel on YouTube is a set of video tutorials on programming in the Max MSP Jitter environment. The Boz Tutorials channel currently has more than 400,000 views and 3,500 subscribers, so check it out. I do have an ask for all of you senators. We have elections coming up that will open on April 4th. It is critical to our shared governance model that we get robust Senate involvement. Please encourage, exhort, request, plead that all your colleagues vote, please. It is very, very important. The Faculty Senate does make a difference. And at this juncture, I would like to introduce our Provost, Nancy Gonzalez.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. You hear me? Yeah. Okay. So you have a very full agenda of business today. We were looking at that. And so I thought what I would do with my remarks today is just to talk a little bit about the creation of schools. You actually have 5 schools that you're considering today, that you'll be voting on today. May seem like a large number to you. In fact, schools are the way that we continue to evolve as a university. And if we look back over the course of the past couple of decades, there have been hundreds of different types of moves involving our schools. So we actually have 6 schools currently on the dockets, 5 today, another one coming up for you to consider the creation of new academic units. Last year, we actually launched 3 schools. You may remember they didn't all come concentrated at once. One of them was the School of Ocean Futures, as we had developed our partnership with the Bermuda Institute of Ocean Sciences, gave us an opportunity to actually expand our focus on planetary health, because it's very difficult to focus on planetary health without paying attention to the oceans, since they cover the largest majority of the earth. So that was an opportunity to expand in a very important scientific way for us. We also advanced the School of Advanced Manufacturing Networks and Systems. Systems and networks, I always get that one wrong. And that was in an effort to really expand in ways that are going to be very important for all of us in terms of new economies. And then the third one was the School of Complex Adaptive Systems, which also helped us to round out the College of Global Futures. And that was actually a unit that moved some faculty from one college to another, and then brought in a bunch of numerous jointly appointed faculty from other units to try to build that one out. So today we're looking at 5 schools, and I want to just talk a little bit about the reasons we launched schools are for many, many reasons. The primary reason is for our students. You know, as we look to what our students of the future need, and we position ourselves to continue to provide them relevant education, we need to rethink what it is that we're providing. And for those of you who read a lot in the educational literature, the Chronicle and various other places, there's a lot of consternation about the value of a college degree. And, you know, whether or not a college degree is necessary anymore, does it prepare students for workforce jobs of the future? And in many different ways, the schools that you're going to be hearing about or that you have read about to consider today very much position us to go in new directions for students that are workforce relevant, that are different than what students currently have, and that build on our current strengths. So that's one reason that we do it. Another is to respond to the broader economic and cultural needs of the communities that we serve. And the schools that are under consideration today are located on the West Campus and very much tied to the Poly, or CISA, which is tied to the Poly campus, allows us to continue the great work in those colleges involved, but expand and position ourselves to go in new directions. So it's another way for us to build our infrastructure of our current in relation to the broader community, but then also build the infrastructure for our current colleges. So there are many reasons that, you know, we choose to go in these directions. So we have a wonderful cast of characters joining us today for the discussion. In case you have questions about that, because it is a large number of schools all at once, we've got deans from the colleges or representatives, if the dean was not able to make it, here to answer your questions. So just wanted to set the framework for this is business as usual. And in fact, there are 2 other schools under discussion that you probably are going to be hearing about next year. So again, it is part of the way that we evolve. And I thank you for your careful attention and the questions that you may have for us as we consider these with you. Thanks. So I'll just wait for questions for the second half. Anybody have questions at this phase? Okay, great.
And next, we're going to hear from Ann Jones, Vice Provost for Undergraduate Education in the University Provost Office, and I think a very relevant, timely topic, AI.
Hi. I'll thank Penny first for inviting me to come and talk with you this afternoon and for joining in the work that I'm going to talk about very briefly, knowing you have a quite full agenda today. It's my pleasure to have been invited to provide a brief update on the topic of the Provost Office response to the recent explosive growth in the accessibility of generative AI tools. And I see some of you nodding your heads because if anyone's opened a newspaper or journal of any sort, you've surely read something about generative AI in the last few months. So I thank Maria for the lovely poll we had for triangulation. I don't know that I understand yet how that's related to triangulation of a quorum, but I see that we didn't hit 100%. So I'm just going to make sure we're all on the same page. Generative AI is a broad term that refers to types of artificial intelligence applications that are designed to use a variety of different machine learning algorithms to create new content. That content may be text, images, video, music, artwork, synthetic data, computer code. It comes in all sorts of forms. The outputs are based on user inputs, but they are not explicitly programmed by the AI application. And I think that's what's so dramatic about this for most faculty members. Generative AI systems are trained by using algorithms to learn from an existing corpus of data. And that data set can be extraordinarily large. You've probably read about ChatGPT-3, which was of course trained on virtually everything publicly accessible. It's trained then to analyze patterns, rules, and statistical structures from the sample data and use what it infers from that data to generate new content similar in style and characteristics to the original training data sets. Now we're on the same page. There are many different kinds of generative AI applications. I know certain types of applications have mostly been in the media, but there are quite a lot of different applications and models, and they're often underpinned by entirely different technological architectures. They use quite different algorithms. What they share, however, is the ability to create, to generate new things, new content. And it's that ability to create new work that's both exhilarating and terrifying in the context of academics. Quite simply, generative AI offers both challenges and opportunities to instructors designing learning opportunities and assessments. To address this rapidly evolving space, the provost created a university-level ad hoc committee, of which Penny and I are both members, and tasked that committee of faculty and staff with evaluating the landscape for generative AI use in higher education, preparing resources for faculty who wish to use or wish not to use generative AI in their classroom, and recommending next steps for projects that reflect ASU's mission and design aspirations. Soon, all faculty will receive an invitation from the provost to join in the work of that committee in a conversation. The committee has created a website that will launch as part of the provost's website, and it will host introductory resources about generative AI and its uses at ASU. And for the rest of the semester, we're hosting a series of introductory workshops for faculty to learn more about AI usage in the educational setting. For example, faculty may join workshops with themes like, what are generative AI tools and how are they being used at ASU? Or in what ways might generative AI impact academic integrity? Or in what ways might generative AI have effects on critical thinking, research, and writing? These are just a few of the topics. The workshops will all be in a podcast style using experts from inside ASU talking about work that's already in progress at ASU. To inform future work, we are also asking faculty via the website to submit feedback via a web form regarding how they are or would like to be using or not using generative AI in the classroom. In short, we hope this will be a comprehensive set of initiatives, both to introduce people to the challenges and opportunities available via generative AI, but also to collect feedback regarding what people are interested in pursuing as future initiatives. I hope many of you will join us in thinking about how to harness the power of these technologies to improve student learning outcomes. And with that, I thank Penny for the time to talk with you on a busy Monday afternoon. Thank you. Oh, and I'm always happy to answer questions.
Let's start down. Okay, if there are any questions for Provost Jones, I will start with downtown campus. Are there any questions from downtown campus?
I think we are good. Thank you so much, Provost Jones.
All right. How about the Polytechnic campus? Are there any questions at all, Polytechnic?
Yeah, so I have a question with regards to AI in our assignments. I just had an assignment that I just caught 30% of my class using ChatGPT. I had to manually go through and scan them all to figure out they did that. It's also making up, fictitious citations and things like that. Are we at ASU developing some tools so that we don't have to, as faculty, manually go through assignments being assigned. So that we can have some kind of automated way similar to Turnitin, be able to detect these.
So I think Chuck sent me your case, actually.
Okay, good. I
And
just
I-
emailed him today.
I laud your energy in doing that. I don't know if you'll be happy or sad to know that at the beginning of April, Turnitin is actually releasing a generative AI text detection tool that in fact will probably catch all the cases that you described in that note that I saw.
Okay, so my follow-up question to that is, as far as academic integrity, we don't have the policy on that. So I don't know how to handle this case. Do I report all these students to academic integrity? Or do I wait until we have policy in place?
So our conclusion was actually the opposite, that ASU's existing academic integrity policy does cover any violations using generative AI, assuming that that is a technological tool that they were not authorized to use. So you can report students at present under ASU's academic integrity policy if you have been clear to them that you did not anticipate or allow them to use generative AI tools. Now, I think the challenge many of us will have this semester, well, there are probably many, but one of the challenges will be whether you were clear with students in what tools they were allowed to use in the course of an assignment. So one of the first things that the committee did was to generate some sample text for faculty in thinking about how to communicate with students about what is or isn't allowed on a course or assignment basis, so that you'll have some prompts to think about how to have conversations or what kinds of language to include in a syllabus to preempt the kind of conversation you and I are having right now.
Yeah, and I guess that's where I'm fuzzy, because obviously since then I have updated all my syllabi, but I didn't have it before. So I'm kind of in this quagmire of what's the
I-
appropriate response.
And I think we're all in a learning mode right now around thinking about how do we have those conversations in advance instead of being responsive. And in the case that it wasn't clear, how do you have a developmental conversation, but also be punitive in the case when that's warranted?
It'll be interesting class tonight. Thank you.
Can I just comment on this real quick? I used to lead the committee for ASU on academic integrity. And I agree that when it's unclear, it's probably not fair to throw it up to the academic integrity. And this is so new that I think many of our students would, even if they know it's kind of cheating, they would argue in a committee review that it's not. And we'd spend a lot of time with a lot of reviews, trying to get through all the appeals. My suggestion would be something kind of in the middle. One, change all the syllabi for the future. And two, let the students know you found it and mark them down for not putting in their own effort on the paper. I think you don't have to turn them in for academic integrity, but still take off significant amounts of points for not putting in the effort to do their own work.
Yeah. So am I understanding correctly that we shouldn't be penalizing them for cheating using an AI because we haven't specified that they can't use an AI to cheat?
That's
Am
not,
I not,
that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just suggesting that I've gone, because I used to run these committees on all these appeals. What's going to happen is if you throw a student into the AI network, your person in charge of AI will probably sanction them, right? And they'll send the sanction out to the student. The student will then appeal. It will go to a committee, and they'll go to a committee in front of a group of people and they'll say, hey, I didn't know. I wasn't trying to cheat. You know, all these programmers, they increase their programming speed by asking ChatGPT what to do. And they do this in their job all the time, which is absolutely true. And this is the argument I would make if I were them. And I would say, I was just trying to increase the amount of homework I could do in one day. And so I asked ChatGPT, I wasn't plagiarizing. I just asked the computer what to do.
But if I understand that and I get that, but at the same time, I mean, like, the student knows that if they have someone else write a paper for them, that
I'm saying this is the argument that they're gonna put in, and the argument would say something to the effect, I didn't know. And I've seen committees who are very compassionate towards our students say, yeah, you're right, this is really new, they probably didn't. And so I'm not saying don't throw it out. I'm not saying it's not wrong, because I think it is, because they're paying lots of money to do their own work, they should do it. And they're not learning anything when they do this. I'm 100% against it, but I'm saying this all came out really this semester when this started hitting. So I think we need to rewrite the syllabi going in saying ChatGPT is against the policy. So it's really clear and they can't say that. In the meantime, this semester and this semester only, I would suggest that you take the points off instead of throwing them to academic integrity, because the appeal process will kind of work against you. I would say this semester only, I would take the points off as far as effort, and then in the future, make it ironclad in your syllabus, and then you can throw it to AI. That's my only suggestion. And it's
Okay.
Okay, so I'm
And
gonna take this back and toss it back over towards Anne to see if you have actually anything, we've been going back and forth on this. Is there anything you'd like to say from the university side as far as official recommendation for this?
Okay, we are probably going to be dealing with this for a while and working on it.
Yeah.
So,
Can I clarify one misconception, though, that's
Please.
relatively important from a policy perspective? You cannot punish a student without reporting that you have punished them. Once you have penalized a student in any way in a class on academic integrity grounds, you must report it to your college, and the student has a right to an appeal. To do anything else is to put a lot of people in risky situations. So again, I know all your academic integrity officers would want me to say that very clearly. If you penalize a student, if you punish them in any way for an alleged academic integrity policy violation, you must report it to your college.
all right, thank you for that clarification. Now from Tempe, Senator Belmarch.
Hi, Sarah Belmarch,
Sarah.
School of International Letters and Cultures. I have a different but slightly related question. There is an ASU 101 course that is supposed to teach students about academic integrity. I have to say, I've never noticed the effect, but I'm wondering if it's been updated to include ChatGPT, or will it be updated?
ASU 101 is a difficult topic for another day, perhaps, but yes, there has been conversation both about updating ASU 101, but more generally thinking about trying to incorporate honor code types of activities throughout the student experience, especially in their first year at ASU. I won't go so far as to say the introduction to academic integrity in ASU 101 has no effect. I'll say that it's generally true in education that to learn something, you must experience it in multiple contexts and see it multiple times. And so I'm going to give students the benefit of the doubt there. I will point out, even in our research communities, there are conflicting opinions about this, right? I mean, I'll take from my own academic background, Science, the magazine, not the discipline, came out with a very strict no generative AI usage in manuscripts. End of discussion. Nature, on the other hand, said, document how you used it, just like you would a methods section. And I think there are those who would say students should learn to use generative AI in classes, and we are, being narrow-minded in thinking about what their careers might look like if we tell them that exists, but we're ignoring it, right? And so I think we're going to have quite a few conversations over the next months as the technologies evolve, but also as our attitudes towards its usage evolve. We're going to have a bit of evolution ourselves, but also workplaces are going to be using it. And so certain disciplines, especially, for example, one of the members of our committee is from the Cronkite School. They have a quite difficult relationship with a tool that makes stuff up, right? But generative AI is already used quite extensively in media and in compiling local news stories. And for students not to know how to use those tools is also a disservice to them. And so I appreciate the position that students should know better. And I think in many cases, yes, they should know better. But there is a nuanced conversation to be had about when it's appropriate, when it's not. And also what kinds of projects we as scholars, teachers, and researchers want to engage in to influence how people use it in the future.
Thank you.
In the interest of time, we'll have one more question. And then we have to move on to the next campus.
Luke Perez from Civic and Economic Thought and Leadership. It seems to me that the biggest area of concern with generative AI is in evaluation. So particularly like the college essay. And as the one example sort of alluded to, I'm wondering if the university, this ad hoc committee has any suggestions yet, or if they're working on ways in which we can solve that. Because it seems to me if there are ways in which we can have students write essays not on their own computers so they don't have access to generative AI, or if we have software within Canvas or whatnot that can prevent them from looking that up, that we can sort of regain the evaluation side where we're able to say, this is your essay, we're testing on what you've actually learned over the semester, in this environment, without actually sort of having to say it's never going to be used in the classroom in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, we're all navigating improvement of technological tools and what it means about what students need to know and be able to do. And I think people would say the internet had the same effect, right? When I first started teaching, I asked students to memorize the periodic table. That was one of my first assignments. I find that relatively pointless and I threw it away now, right? It takes about 3 seconds on a phone to find whatever element they would have memorized. And if it was really important, they'll use it enough and they will memorize it naturally. But I think the same is happening with generative AI, where we're trying to navigate how does it change what they know and be able to do. And I hope we might even navigate this conversation to the point where, yeah, we might write essays in class because we want to demonstrate they can write in real time, or have a debate in real time, or negotiate conflict. But we might also ask completely new and different kinds of writing prompts that democratize the writing process for our quite diverse student body and create works that we've never seen before on topics that were maybe too challenging for them to take on in the past because they were stumbling around the mechanics of the writing part. So, it's as I said at the beginning, it's a challenge and an opportunity. What we concluded as a committee, to your actual question, Luke, was that we needed to focus especially on just-in-time resources for navigating exactly the kind of questions you're asking about. How might you design a prompt that gets the kind of outcome you want in a world in which students have open access to generative AI, right? That's an important pedagogical and research question right now.
We have time for, are there any questions from West Campus?
No questions from West. Thank you.
And I think we, online.
Yes, we have 2 questions online.
Okay,
So
and that's what we
Senator,
will cap it at that.
Senator Lauren Savaglio, please unmute.
Hi, thank you. This is Lauren Savaglio from the College of Health Solutions. I know there was discussions about having some language that we can share with our students, both for syllabi and for in real time. I would love to get some of that language, and I know many of my colleagues would as well, to kind of give some expectations to make it clear. As I know, many of us have larger assignments coming up. And so I would like to make things clear before students start working on those types of research papers and others. When or how should we advise that we might be seeing some of this language? How, when we let our colleagues know? Or when can we expect any?
Yeah, we hope to be able to launch the workshops. They're scheduled in April, and to have the website up when we send you the announcement with the dates for the workshops. So,
Okay, so this
as you can
upcoming month.
imagine, we don't want to put anything not quite right out into the space either.
Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next question, Senator Rokas Borner, please unmute.
Hello, this is Rokas Borner from the School of Mathematical and Statistical Sciences. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm very excited that the university will be offering an AI-based tool to detect AI-based dishonesty, but practicality is a concern, especially in larger classes. Are you in talks with third-party software vendors, for example, to achieve Canvas integration so that a large number of homework assignments could be automatically checked?
Yeah, Turnitin is working on Canvas integration as well. Yeah, and we have been talking with external partners.
Thank you.
Okay, I thank you so much.
Thank you,
Vice
Kennedy.
Provost, yes.
I told you I wouldn't need 20 minutes of remarks.
Thank you so much. It's a big topic, believe me. All right, we are now moving on to for new business. And we have first reads. So we have no unfinished business, so we can begin new business with our first reads from CAPC. To prepare you for motions, we will be acting on at our next Senate meeting. CAPC Chair is Claudia Sadowski Smith is not here today, but so Denise Bodman will be stepping in to deliver the goods here. So CAPC motion first reads.
Hello, senators. Hello. There we go. Okay, spring is sprung. So if you go outside, you see all sorts of flowers popping off the trees, and it looks like the same thing on our agenda. We have lots of motions on our agenda. So unless I hear an objection, I would, instead of reading these first reads, there's 13 in the appendix, those appendix items do not return here. And then we have like another 13 that will return here, motions. So unless I hear an objection, I would just like to tell you to read it. Do I hear an objection? All right, consider you read in. Thank you. I did that.
Can I do that too? Damn. All right. Okay, done. So there are other motions for first. We have an additional motion for first read brought by the UAC. So is the grievance committee one? So that's also done? Who's reading it? Yes, would you like to read it?
Yes, so I'm reading motion 2023-66, introduced by the University Academic Council. Titled Motion Resolution to Expand the Membership of the University Grievance Committee. The action requested is to amend ACD 112-01 bylaw 1B2 to include career track faculty on the university grievance committees. The rationale is service on the University Senate Committee for Academic Freedom and Tenure, hereafter CAFT, and the Governance Grievance Committee, hereafter GGC, is limited to tenured professors and thereby excludes non-tenure eligible faculty, now known as career track faculty. However, career track faculty are vitally invested in the governance of the university and face issues directly under the purview of these committees. Career track faculty may face infringements on their academic freedom and unfair dismissals, but lacking the protection of tenure and therefore, there's some typos in here. So we'll take note of that. They lack the protection of tenure and therefore are more vulnerable to attacks on their academic freedom and dismissals. Moreover, career track faculty also bring grievances concerning salary inequities, teaching assignments, access to equipment, and other issues of unfair treatment of faculty by other faculty or administrators. Thus, without representation of career track faculty on these committees, those who bring grievances to them currently lack the right to have their cases be heard by their peers. Action. It looks like we've got them all numbered wrong as well. So can somebody take note of that? Because they're all numbered 1 and there's 3 actions, it looks like. 1, amend ACD 11201 bylaw 1B2C GGC, defining membership to read, quote, members shall be elected by the academic assembly from among all full-time faculty who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years for a period of 3 years, end quote. 2 should be amend ACD 11201 bylaw 1B2B1, defining membership to read, quote, membership. Tenured and tenured track faculty shall elect 12 members of this committee, 6 from the Tempe campus and 2 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus, and the West campus. Career track faculty shall elect 6 career track faculty members who have been employed at ASU for at least 6 years. 3 from the Tempe campus and 1 each from the downtown campus, the Polytechnic campus, and the West campus. There is existing language to remain. Do I need to read that existing language still? Okay, 3, amend ACD 11201 bylaw 1B2B3, functions of the committee. The new language would be A, the committee shall hear cases assigned to it by the clearinghouse committee. B, the committee shall deal with cases of disability status. C, the committee shall investigate alleged infringements upon academic freedom as defined and described in ACD 201. And D, the committee shall meet to deal with cases of dismissal, but only the tenured members of the committee shall investigate dismissal of tenure track or tenured faculty or alleged infringements upon the tenure of faculty members. Next time.
So we're now moving on to second reads for proposals that were distributed. Okay, so new course proposals. These are course proposals. We will now address the second reads listed on the agenda, beginning with the new course proposals that were distributed on March 15th. Unless there is an objection, these course proposals will be handled in gross. Does anyone wish to remove any of the new course proposals from the list? Okay, hearing none, we will take a vote on these courses. Maria?
Okay, everyone, you should have in front of you motion for new course proposals. Do you approve of Senate Motion 2023-52, new course proposals in gross? A for yes, B for no, C to abstain. Okay, a couple of more seconds. Ending the poll. The motion passes with 98 votes, 98%.
All right, now we're moving on to CAPC motions. We have 13 motions that have passed CAPC review. Unless there is an objection, these motions will be handled in gross. But after these motions are read, senators have the ability to remove specific motions for discussion and voting. First, we'll read them. Denise.
All right. Got to read all these. Also, a reminder for the first reads that we did for CAPC that I'm asking you to do. If you have any questions or objections to those first reads, please let Claudia or Penny know as soon as possible. All right. All right. So here are the second reads. Motion 2023-35, request from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts, School of the Arts, Media and Engineering for the renaming of undergraduate degree from BS in Digital Culture to BS in Media Arts and Sciences. Motion 2023-36, request from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts, School of Arts, Media and Engineering for the rename of undergraduate certificate from Digital Culture to Media Arts and Sciences. I got lost. Here we go. Motion 2337. Request from the School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Historical, Philosophical, and Religious Studies for the transfer of graduate certificate medieval studies from the School of Historical, Philosophical, and Religious Studies to the Department of English. Motion 2023-38, request from the Thunderbird School of Global Management for the disestablishment of a graduate degree, MALM in Leadership and Management. Motion 2023-39, request from the New College of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences, School of Social and Behavioral Sciences for the establishment of an undergraduate degree, BS in Aging. Motion 2023-40, request from the School of Health Solutions for the establishment of a graduate certificate, Medical Nutrition. Motion 2023-41, request from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, School of Life Sciences for the establishment of a graduate degree, MS in Computational Life Sciences. Motion 2023-42, request from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts for the establishment of the new academic unit School of Applied Professional Studies. Motion 2023-43, request from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts for the establishment of a new academic unit, School of Applied Sciences and Arts. Motion 2023-45, request from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts for the establishment of a new academic unit, School of Counseling and Counseling Psychology. Motion 2023-45, request from the Ira A. Fulton Schools of Engineering for the establishment of a new academic unit, School of Integrated Engineering. Motion 2023-46. Request from the New College of Interdisciplinary Arts and Sciences for the establishment of a new academic unit, School of Interdisciplinary Forensics. Motion 2023-47. I'll do it slow because it's the last one. Request from the Herberger Institute for Design and the Arts, School of Arts, Media, and Engineering for the rename of an undergraduate degree from BA in Digital Culture to BA in Media Arts and Sciences. All right, thank you.
Now, does anyone wish to remove any of the motions from the engrossed list? Please just tell me the motions you wish to remove. Which motions?
Requesting motions 2023-42 and 2023-43.
Okay, hang on.
Thank you.
I request that we remove 2023-44.
44, okay. We're going to remove these from the gross list, and we're going to vote on the rest now. Okay, Maria, are you, or we have to vote on removing? Okay, okay. All right, so your vote now is minus those three, okay? Sure. And then after we will have discussion.
Okay, everyone. So in front of you, you should have a motion that reads, CAPC motion revised. Do you approve of the revised CAPC motions with the removal of Senate Motion 2023-42, Senate Motion 2023-43, and Senate Motion 2023-44? A for yes, B for no, C to abstain. Okay, we are ending the poll. Cast your last votes. The motion passes with 96 votes, 91%.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion. We have three motions right now, 42, 43, and 44, all of which involve a single school. They're an interrelated proposal, and it seems that in the hopes of saving time and facilitating a good discussion, it would make sense to consider them all together and have a single discussion and a single vote. So I make that motion.
Do we need to vote on it? We don't need to vote on it. Just
Okay,
discussion.
so we're fine. How about the time? Okay, all right, so motion 2023 42, 43, and 44 were removed from, for individual discussion and now available for debate. Nope. Oh, are you guys okay including them all as a single motion?
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me reword that.
Yes,
I-
yay or nay?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna reword this.
But I thought was supposed to come.
Sorry. I'm gonna say bundle. There we go. Okay, so the motion in front of you reads as follows. Do you agree to bundle Senate motions 2023-42, Senate motion 2023-43, and Senate motion 2023-44? And you can vote yes, A for yes, B for no, or C to abstain on this. Oh. Sorry, there you go. Okay, we're ending the poll. The motion passes with 86 votes. 83%.
Okay. All right, so next we'll have Secretary Vandermeer. In the interest of time, he's going to introduce discussion rules.
Again, because this is a topic which may generate a fair amount of discussion, we're going to resort to a standard Robert's Rules policy of limiting the time for individual speakers to 3 minutes. We'll also expect a 20-minute overall limit, but that can be expanded if there is additional discussion. But this is just a way to make sure that everybody who needs to speak has a chance to do so. And this needs a second.
All right. Okay. Oh, okay, and we now need to go on that resolution.
Okay, so this, yes, I'm wrong. So this motion is motion to limit discussion. Do you approve motion to limit discussion to 3 minutes per speaker? The options are A, yes, B for no, and C to abstain. Please cast your vote. Okay, ending the poll. Motion passes 90 votes, 86%.
Okay, so motion 2023-42, 43, and 44 were removed for individual discussion and are now available for debate. We will begin our discussion with Senator Wells, who asked that it be removed from the list.
When I go down to the state legislature and members often there will want to explain their vote. So I want to explain why I'm not supporting these resolutions. I'm abstaining. And the reason, let me give a little bit of a history. So when I was first on the faculty here, I was part of the Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies, also known as BIS. We were housed in the Division of Undergraduate Academic Services in DUOS. We weren't in a school, we weren't in a college or anything. When they moved to the downtown campus, which is actually where my office is, the School of Interdisciplinary Studies was born, along with the University of College. And when Betty Capaldi came here, she didn't like the name of that, and we became a college. We became the College of Letters and Sciences. And then a few years ago, ASU was interested in rebranding us, and we became the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts. From the time I began here, there were 4 of us in my faculty. Today, my faculty group has over 40 people in it. And we have, we used to be called Barely in School. We were a pejorative, BIS was, and we've really worked hard to build up our degree. And today we have about 6,000 majors, and we're sort of the heart of CISA. Now, what I'm concerned about in this context is the fact that although there's often suddenly there was a lot of discussion in the spring, what actually happened was things that were focused on visioning for poly and other kinds of things, not about schools. And the schools were brought forward to us in late September with Provost Gonzalez. And the process that if I was dean, the way I would do it would be a lot different. So the fact is the faculty haven't been very involved in this process. My unit's getting split into 2 schools. We weren't consulted and really brought into on that. And it's not the way we ought to be doing things at ASU. What I would have liked to see before we did this is all of the units working together to try to brainstorm and think about how these schools could work rather than having an unveiling with the provost in September. And if failing that, I would love to have had a big work with all the units and working really hard to how these schools could work and be functional after that. And that didn't happen either. We have this transitions working group, but they only meet once a month and it's only a subgroup and they don't usually have an agenda. So it's just not, it's sort of like a rudderless ship that we're moving here. And I think we can be successful here, but it's just, I don't think that's the way ASU ought to do things. And that's why I'm standing up here to abstain, because I feel like if we're going to make schools, we ought to work hard and do it well. We can still potentially do it well, but we've really dropped the ball already on this. And we're always working so hard to get to the finish line, you know, getting things so they can start next year, that we often forget about these processes, and processes are really important. Thank you for your time.
Okay, so now I'm going to move to each campus to see if there are any comments. Downtown.
Yes.
Yes, we do have a comment from Senator Kingsbury.
Hi, thank you. I'm Jeff Kingsbury. I'm one of the senators from the College of Integrative Sciences and Arts. I represent the downtown campus. I've served in the Senate with Senator Wells for 6 years, and I appreciate his service and his opinion. However, on this particular matter, I have to disagree with him very strongly. The suggestion that this planning has been rudderless or has not been well organized is simply not correct. Internally within our college, there have been over 18 months of planning, dozens of design and visioning and working groups where over 200 faculty have participated. This has been done in collaboration, close collaboration with the Office of the Provost and the ASU Design Institute, all of which very important in integrating the proposed design of this redesign of our college into these schools, integrating it in a way that is successful within the university community and creates a lane for our college to become successful and to grow and to evolve in the college. As I mentioned, externally, aside from the internal discussions in our college, externally, this has been done in close collaboration with the provost, close collaboration with leadership of other colleges within the institution, within ASU, in order to help us develop a plan where our college will be able to grow and thrive and to be part of the strategic plan of the university going forward in a way that's successful for all the colleges. And again, this is not just change for the sake of change. It's not growth for the sake of growth. It's not rebranding. This is meaningful design that is intended to help our students, to serve our community, to serve our faculty, and to serve the mission of the university. And so in closing, I would just like to say, I support this strongly. The faculty I represent support this strongly. This has been done in close collaboration and is supported strongly by the provost. It's been thoroughly vetted and unanimously approved by the Arizona Board of Regents. It's been thoroughly vetted and approved by our own CAPC committee. And I would respectfully ask for the wisdom of this body to please support these vital proposals for our college as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the comments. We're now moving to the Polytechnic campus.
Ready? All right, well, thank you. I just want to offer a statement of support in favor of the schools proposed for CISA. I believe these are a much needed step for moving CISA forward and helping organize ourselves so that we can take all the advantages of our size and there have been support by external partners, as well as this is just the best way forward for our college community. One of the most important outcomes is the growth of the college in alignment with ASU's goal of Polytechnic campus. The growth and evolution of CSAT Poly is our focus and our charge because this is central to ASU's charter and serving students at Polytechnic. These will not cause significant changes within the work of current CSA faculty and staff. Faculty teaching for degrees in particular locations will continue teaching for those degrees from their current location. The focus is on growth at Poly. There's also an overall logical way in which the school is broken down, with each school having major programs that highlight CSA's identity in offering programs that have a distinctly applied emphasis. The School of Counseling and Counseling Psychology will have Counseling and Applied Psychological Science, CAPS. The School of Applied Sciences and Arts will have Applied Biological Sciences, ABS. And the School of Applied Professional Studies will have both Technical Communication and Organizational Leadership. This is in addition to a wide variety of existing programs that will continue to live and grow under the new, more cohesive school structure. New programs are also being developed in several areas that will benefit from this firm identity. Personally, I'm a huge proponent of the Polytechnic campus. I've taught out here ever since arriving at ASU. And I just think that this is going to be an important step forward for Polytechnic campus. And it's in no way going to detract from the other work that CSA does, but it will help show us a way forward that will help to expand and grow the 177 faculty based at the Polytechnic campus in CSA. Again, none of this will be at the expense of any of the existing programs at Tempe and Templetown. And CSA has had long examples of cross collaboration between campuses for various different degrees, courses, and programs. Also, I'd finally like to briefly note that there has been wide support for the schools beyond just CSA itself. The college, New College, Fulton School of Engineering, and others have all offered positive impact statements supporting the school. Dean Kenny and the college wrote, this organizational structure based on schools model is long overdue for CSA. There are more as well. Finally, as the current president of the College Assembly Council in CSA, I believe that despite some anxiety and tension this year in the college related to the typical concerns over change, the best way forward for the college is to settle this transition period and move forward with these long-planned and well-researched proposals. Any delay would only cause greater insecurity and delay the next steps for getting the schools off the ground to a strong start in the fall. Most of the faculty units in CSA support this proposal, and they all fit together in a cohesive, combined package, providing for CSA to have a stable and growing college with a definable identity for years to come.
Okay, we're going to have to call time. If hopefully you're on your last sentence.
Oh, yeah, I was done. Yeah.
Okay. See,
I
that
thought
was
I had
perfect.
5 minutes, my apology, but
No,
we
it's
started.
Okay, and now the last, we're going to go to, we have to go to West, we have to go to online. Tempe, we had Dave. Okay, is there any additional comments from Tempe? Okay. It's like a game of Pong here. Okay, West, let's go to West. Are there any comments?
No questions from West.
Thank you, Hala. We'll come back to Tempe and then we will do online too, but Tempe, yes, please. Senator Stahl.
I just have a really quick question based on what the senator from Poly, and I apologize, I didn't catch your name, was stating that there'll be no disruption to current programs. Will there be any disruption to faculty? Will there be any faculty that will lose their jobs?
Oh. Do you want to answer that, Polly? Yes. Senator Burrell, you're muted.
I heard of no anticipated disruptions, but our Dean Joanna Grabsky is here and she could weigh in on that.
Absolutely. Thank you. No, there are no plans for anyone to lose their jobs. In fact, we're looking at growth to 15,000 students on campus, which would mean increases in hiring.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have any comments online? Okay. Yes, well, anybody that wanted to comment, yes. Well, Temby's already had 2 rounds, so downtown, do you have one additional question or comment?
No, we're good
Downtown?
at downtown. Thank you.
All right, then we will go to Poly, which we just were at. Any additional on Polytechnic, sorry.
So I want to start by saying that I think the school structure has an incredible amount of potential for our college. I'm incredibly excited to see our college moving forward. And I love the idea that we could potentially grow Poly. That's something that I know has been on not only our current provost, but our previous provost, the agenda to bring more students to Poly. I do have some concerns right now. Some of them relate to what David Burrell said. Some of them relate to what Dave Wells said. A key one for me is this idea that we can bring 15,000 students to Poly. That would be amazing. But if, for instance, the school that I will be part of, which is the Applied and Professional Studies School, 2/3 of the faculty are based in Tempe and will be based in Tempe. And the majority of the courses that they offer and that my own program, Technical Communication, offers are online or they take classes via iCourses. And this has been an ongoing problem for us. How do we attract students to Poly when students can simply take iCourses and never come to campus? And so I think one of the things that's really critical for me to support this is to know what the plans are to make that happen. This is not something that we've gotten information on, although we have asked numerous times. How will we bring people to Poly? What is the infrastructure around Poly that's going to attract students? How are we going to accommodate the faculty if we should end up bringing faculty here? We don't have enough office space. We have lots of classroom space. It's currently thoroughly underutilized because of match rules that have to align with Tempe and downtown. We could absolutely put students in those classrooms if we weren't held to the same criteria for campuses that are already overfull with students. So for me, there are a lot of sort of logistical questions that I think are really critical in terms of figuring out whether or not this is going to be successful. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Last one for Tempe.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Francisco Sanchez, or Cisco, from Counseling and Counseling Psychology within CISA. And I stand in support of this motion, but a couple things, just transparency. I'm new here and somehow I ended up senator. I just joined the faculty last semester, but I was in governance at 2 other R1 institutions, Wisconsin and Missouri. And so for me, at least the new organization just helps to streamline the college a bit more from 10 units into 3 schools. Potentially offers more autonomy for those 3 schools, as well as control of budget by the faculty heads. So thank you.
All right, thank you. And we're back to, well, I think it's probably the 4th time for Wes, but any other questions or comments? Or online? No. Okay. Okay. Okay, if somebody who has spoken already wants to speak once more, we don't have to go around the campuses, but you can alert us. If anybody else wants to speak a second time. Is that Polly? Yes.
So I'm presenting I would say I have been in part of a successful transition group presenting the sciences and mathematics unit. So my experiences and my unit has been very extremely supportive, and we are looking forward to the new school and new school structures. And then we are also looking forward to the growth of the students. And then at the meantime, we're also looking for the new hiring in our faculty. So I think it's important to move this motion forward, especially for the, in favor of the students, and also the, faculty. So as we know, as at least for my unit, I don't see any changes in the sense of faculty. On opposite, actually, we are expecting the growth of the students. For example, in my unit, in my case, is the applied sciences majors, and also we are looking for the new hiring in the right now. Actually, we are hiring. I think the 2 or 3 we have this kind of on campus visit. So for this, I would like to support the motion moving forward. Thank you.
Hey, anyone else? I did West. Tempe. Okay, I think we're done. Okay. So we are now going to take a vote on these 3 motions.
Okay, everyone. So in front of you, you should have a poll that reads, do you agree to approve Senate Motion 2023-42, Senate Motion 2023-43, and Senate Motion 2023-44? A for yes, B for no, and C to abstain. Please vote. Couple more seconds. Ending the poll. The motion received 76 votes, 72%. Passes.
All right. Okay. We are now moving on to other motions. Oh, motion passed.
Motion passed.
Yes. A lot of rules. Okay. All right, so we have other motions here. That's why we have these wonderful people. We have additional motions that have been brought to you for action. The first motion, motion 2023-48, comes from the University Senate Faculty Policy Committee, Senator Bill March. Can come up here if you would like.
So this is motion 2023-48 from the Student Faculty Policy Committee. First read was February 27th, 2023. This is the second read for March 27th, 2023. To refresh your memory from last time, I'm not going to go through all the whereases, but the motion holds supports the emendation of ACD 30410 course syllabi by adding the following 4 resources to syllabi: the availability of ASU counseling services, the availability of ASU health services, the availability of the ASU Office of Inclusive Excellence and Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and the availability of basic needs resources and student advocacy and assistance. Question?
Any discussion on this? Okay, no second is required, so the floor is open for discussion. Oh, okay, well then we're going to take a vote.
Okay. Go ahead and vote on Senate Motion 2023-48. Do you approve Senate Motion 2023-48, resolution to amend ACD 304-10 course syllabi? A for yes, B for no, C to abstain. Ending the poll. Motion passes with 98 votes.
Yes. Okay, passed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Senator Bill March is now going to read motion 2023-49. Go ahead and proceed.
This is motion 2023-49, passed unanimously by the Student Faculty Policy Committee and referred to the Senate at their meeting of February 13th. First read in the Senate, February 27th, 2023. This motion requests an action of the revision of the course load policy to account for differences in the time commitment between sessions A and B courses. Specifically, it recommends that the reevaluation of the course load policy to take into account the differences in weekly time commitment that can be required of students between sessions A and B and session C. Supports the establishment of a system in which the maximum course load is consistent with the standard time commitment for session C courses, totaling 18 credit hours of 54 hours of time commitment a week, and recommends that the course registration system display a red flag for students whose course registration would result in more than 54 hours of time commitment a week in any of sessions A, B, and C, so that students can be appropriately advised.
Okay, is there any discussion on this? Downtown, any discussion or? No, okay.
They're good downtown.
Okay, Polytechnic,
I think Polly.
okay, and we're here in Tempe. Any questions on that? All right, West? All right, hearing none, we will vote on this motion.
Okay, so the motion 2023-49 is before you. Do you approve of motion 2023-49 resolution regarding maximum course load policy? A for yes, B for no, C to abstain. Ending the poll. And the motion passes with 103 votes.
All right, the motion has passed. Our next motion is 2023-50. The motion to transition the digitally enhanced teaching and learning committee from ad hoc committee to a standing committee at the University Senate. And Lisa Kemelacher is going to read that for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. Am I close enough to the mic? I guess I have the question of whether I need to completely reread it or not. Does anyone need me to reread it? I'm happy to. Basically, it is a motion to transition the digitally enhanced teaching and learning committee from an ad hoc committee to a standing committee of the University Senate.
Most of you, everyone should be somewhat familiar with this committee. So,
to proceed, we have some small editorial amendments that we need to share, and we'll do that first. And then Phil has an amendment as well, and there may be more. We'll see how that goes. So everything is editorial. Putting a letter S in the paragraph that starts DEDL is an advisory committee serving, etc. The word interest needs to have a letter S on it. There's an extra period on section 9. There is some language on the section 9C1B that was incorrect regarding our officio non-voting members. We corrected some titles and we added one, which is the ASU Library Division Head for E-Learning and Instruction. And to put a period at the end of that paragraph. We have semicolons missing on 9C2, E, and F. And we have a capital B where a lowercase b should be on number 3, relationships. Isn't that great?
You all tracking this, right? No.
I got it all. I got it all. I sent it to everyone. So those are the amendments from the committee. And I'm guessing we need to vote on that. And then we will hear from Phil.
Okay, all right.
We got a separate vote.
It's very complicated. Okay. So we're going to vote on motion 2023-50 to become a standing committee with the
No, the revised.
Editorial.
vote on the editorial amendment.
Okay, so in front of you, you should have the motion that is to the revised dash 2023-50 revised. Do you agree with the editorial amendments? Couple of more seconds. Ending the poll. And the motion passes with 94 votes.
I have something equally vital and interesting. It's in the Constitution or in the bylaw, it lists the committees and then it goes through one by one. We didn't include in this proposal that original list would also include that. So this amendment will include this as part of that. So I move the amendment. I think it was with the agenda. Right?
Yes, it was.
Okay. So we can vote on that now?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Second, there.
Okay, this motion is to vote to agree to the amendment to add other committees. Do you agree with the amendments to add other committees? Amendment to Senate Motion 2023-50.
Add the amendment to this.
All right, give me 1 second. Let me start over. Disregard that. Do you agree with the amendments to add, Bethany, you send it to me. This committee. All right, how does that look? Do you agree with the amendments to add this committee to the list of committees? And the vote is open. Couple of more seconds. Ending the poll. This motion passes with 95 votes.
Okay. Well, can we, or is this a discussion?
No, it's an amendment. I reached out to Lisa and Stefan, but not until the meeting, and they seem to be fine with it. This is a amendment, and I think Maria already has the wording for it, but the amendment related to 2 about voting members. So it currently says 2 voting members must be tenured or tenure eligible fixed term faculty, contract faculty with multi-year, rolling multi-year status, or academic professionals with continuing status, or those who are continuing status eligible and may not hold a primary administrative position or of director or higher at the time of election/appointment. I'd like to see that that would leave out, just so for your reference, that would leave out people with on 1-year contracts and so forth. So I would like to see it changed and simplified to the following: voting members must be members of the academic assembly, and may not hold a primary administrative position of director or higher at the time of election/appointment. That's it.
For which motion is this? Oh, for this one.
And Lisa, you said we just got.
Second. Don't you have, do you have a question? Yeah, just adding the career track.
Yeah, I'm simplifying the language and making it more inclusive.
David's language is more inclusive so that people on one-year contracts are allowed to participate on the committee. And the only issue I see with that, but I don't see it as huge, is that
Here.
I have the language I can forward, or he does.
I need to type it right now.
The only
I just
issue
need
is
to make
that
it-
the appointments are 2-year appointments, but most people on single-year contracts continue. And so I would even accept it as a friendly amendment. It's very clean language and it's more inclusive. So from my perspective and Stefan's, we support what Dr. Wells is saying.
Need a second.
Must be members of the academic assembly.
Is there any further discussion from any of the campuses? For that particular amendment, basically opening it up to really all our ranks,
A. Not all.
including career track, okay? Hearing none, nobody. Hearing nothing from the other campuses, then we will vote on this amendment as soon as we get the language. Well, they're working on this. I just want you to appreciate that by the time I actually figure all this out, I will not be your president anymore. And it will happen to you too if you become president.
Time of-
These two guys have lifetime appointments, just saying.
Right? May not hold it, okay. Is there going to be discussion or is it ready for a vote?
Ready for a vote.
Okay, everyone. So we have another amendment to Senate Motion 2023-50, and this one reads, do you agree with the amendments? Sorry, with the amendment voting members must be members of the academic assembly and may not hold a primary administrative position of director or higher at the time of election/appointment. Closing the poll. This motion passes with 84 votes. The motion passed.
Okay. Any further discussion at all? For the entire motion with all the amendments attached to it? Okay, hearing none, I say we proceed to a vote. For motion 2023-50 with amendments. As amended.
Okay, so in front of you is the motion itself. This includes all of the amendments that have been made to it. Do you approve of Senate Motion 2023-50 transition? The digitally enhanced teaching and learning committee from an ad hoc committee to a standing committee of the University Senate. A for yes, B for no, C to abstain. Couple of more seconds. Ending the poll. And the motion passes with 102 votes.
Right. Okay. Motion has passed with amendments. So next, finally, President or Dawn Hagelin is going to bring motion 2023-51, which is a reassertion of the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay, so this motion is introduced by the University Academic Council for approval by the Senate. First read was February 27th. Today's the second read. We're reasserting the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and the action requested is that the Senate approve the motion. And I'm not gonna, do I need to go through that whole
Well,
thing
it
with the
wasn't
thes
just-
and
no,
we
I don't
removed
think
a
so.
the from before Arizona State University. We fixed a grammatical error in the line, whereas cultural competency crucial for success in our interconnected world requires openness and diverse perspectives. I think those were the only two amendments.
You ready for a vote?
Is
We
there
need to
any?
vote on the,
Just-
we need to vote on the edits. Does that need a second
Just discussion. Discussion.
on the edits?
No discussion.
Are there any,
We don't need to go through all that, like,
No.
no. Are there any discussions? You received this on first read. Hopefully you read your first reads. Are there any discussions on this? Let's start with downtown. Is there any discussion on this?
No discussion from downtown.
Okay. How about Polytechnic?
Nothing from the Polytechnic campus.
Now we go to Tempe. Any comments? Here, hello? No. How about West? Okay, nothing there. So at this point, hearing none, is now up for motion 2023-51. Reassertion of the values of diversity, equity, and inclusion is now up for vote. So please go ahead, Maria.
Motion in front of you reads, do you approve of motion 2023-51, reassertion of values of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Vote yes, A for yes, B for no, or C to abstain. Ending the poll. This motion passes with 90 votes.
Right, motion passes. So now we have no further new business, but we just have a couple of committee reports. And we will begin with a report from Jeffrey Kingsbury from the Committee on Committees. Okay.
Thanks, Penny. I'm Jeff Kingsbury, again, from the Chair of the Committee on Committees. As Penny has already exhorted everyone earlier, we encourage everyone to vote and to please encourage your colleagues to vote. We want to have robust representation in our elections. So the timeline for the remainder of the election, I just wanted to review for everyone in case you get questions from the folks you represent. So on 3/23 last Thursday, an email went out from Penny announcing the election, providing a link to the candidate statements. This Thursday on March 30th at 5 p.m., the write-in period for write-in candidates closes. On April 4th, a second email announcement from Penny will go out with links to the ballots. And the ballots will stay open until 5 p.m. on April 12th. And then on April 24th, Maria will announce the winners of the elections.
All right. Great. Thank you very much. Please vote. Tell everyone you know who works, no. Tell all your colleagues, please, that it's a very, very important. It's a very important function of our institution. Okay. So next we have Chad Kennedy from University Services and Facilities Committee, a Polytechnic. Yep. Senator Kennedy?
So I will keep it brief. So we really have some movement on 3 of our RFCs. So I just wanted to give you guys an update on that. So RFC 205, which is Long-Term Facility and Services Suggestion Box, that you guys kind of saw the prototype for that. We're pivoting on that a little bit so that instead of having it being a direct suggestions to the facilities, we're actually going to use this more as a resource for the committee itself to generate new RFCs, the things that we can't think of in the committee. We can get that feedback from all the senators and other faculty and folks. So that's kind of a pivot for what we think our use case is going to be. Hopefully we're working with Maria and the Senate to find a better place, like a button or a link that'll be on our website. So we'll have a consistent place that people can go to so we can start promoting that suggestion box link. Let's see. So for RFC 221, accommodations for faculty with disabilities, I believe the subcommittee is meeting this week, so we will get some further developments on that. So that's ongoing. And then RFC 153, which had to do with lactation and wellness room access. I met with Clint Lord and Brian Kirkman. They are the ones who deal with the mobile app and the mapping service, the interactive map that we use. So we determined, one, that we actually have far more rooms than were initially reported to us. We have 56 rooms across the 4 campuses. They're multi-purpose by design, but with privacy. So you can actually lock the door and have your own facility to yourself for a while. So they're for wellness rooms and lactation rooms or whatever your needs are there. This does put us well ahead of the number of rooms that we originally were reported, number of rooms per female faculty compared to our sister institutions. So the committee kind of moved forward and closed that RFC, feeling like that had been met. Also, they are including new rooms in any new builds or major redesigns. So there will be an ongoing effort to increase rooms. One of the note on that is they are, when I say they, Clint and Brian assured me they were going to work on the interactive map to help show the room so you can actually find them, because right now it's not very visible. So you can't see or find them unless you zoom in at just the right level. So, and that's pretty much the update from our committee.
All right. Okay. So now the floor is open for any senator to bring up announcements, issues, concerns, questions. As a reminder, issues not on the agenda cannot be discussed at this time, but we do want to hear them and take them under advisement. Senators may ask questions for clarification or additional information. Okay, I'm going to stay there.
Sure.
I'm going to start downtown. Are there any questions or additional comments for downtown?
We do have a comment from downtown.
Okay.
This is a comment regarding AI. I just want to say that I think I recognize the forward approach that this university has to take as far as generative AI. But I think that we need to have a very robust and thoughtful and deliberate discussion about how generative AI impacts our students. Because our students across the disciplines at ASU do not have a really strong grasp of critical thinking skills, and they suffer. And they're going to lean on AI to learn how to apply concepts, and they will never learn how to cognitively apply those concepts in assignments and exams and papers. And so I think we need to have further discussion before we get into kind of the meat of the matter of committees making decisions that then we vote upon and we're not clear about what direction we're going into, centering our discussions on the welfare of our students.
Okay, thank you. And please, it's hard to see who is speaking.
Senator Sullivan.
Senator Sullivan, thank you so much. Yeah, do identify yourself. It's small.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your comment. So now we are moving to Polytechnic. Are there any comments there?
There are no final comments from the Polytechnic campus.
Okay. And now we're at Tempe. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Senator Heather Maring. I'm in the Department of English. And I've had two faculty members ask me to raise a couple of issues. And I also have one that I'd like to raise, or question really. So I don't know if you want that to sort of spread out. Should I just do one and then come back, or how?
Well, if it's not on the agenda, you can bring it up, but it's not
Okay.
going to open it for
Okay.
discussion. So
Sure.
go ahead.
So one faculty member said that, or I was wondering if there's a website that faculty can visit to read descriptions of the CAPC proposals. And maybe this was my own fault, but I couldn't see how to do this without authorized access under governance and Kuali. And so I was wondering if there is access for faculty members, if that could be made more obvious.
I would
because-
pass that on to Claudia. Yes, yep.
The second thing is that I'm a huge fan of the official minutes. They're really, really helpful for filling in material that I may have missed, or get someone's name or get a website. So Maria, thank you so much for those. I want to suggest that the minutes also include questions and answers between senators and visiting faculty, the Q&A sessions, also the open forum, because I think that what senators have to say is also important. And that's not something that's actually typically in the minutes, maybe in our own personal minutes for each other, for our units, but not so much in the official ones. And it seems to me to make sense that for the faculty senate, we would include the things that senators ask.
So just to let you know, it's one of the channels you really should catch. We do post the recordings of this. So at any time, anybody can go back and catch our riveting dialogue. We can do that. But thank you for that suggestion, and we'll see what the rules allow. on
Right,
that.
it makes sense.
Okay.
And I have to say that is true, but then you have to take the time to listen to all of it.
Yes.
The other thing is that a faculty member has asked if ASU could request that companies whose services are required of faculty, for example, Interfolio, could be asked to refrain from sending advertisements to our inboxes. Is this something that could be handled at the source by the business office in charge of such contracts?
Okay, I'm making note. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Senator Whitney Hansen from the Psychology Department, and I had a question for Ann Jones, but she left. Maybe Vice Provost Clark, you could answer it. So it's about the generative AI. So it was made very clear to faculty in my department by Associate Dean Paul Lepore that there is a difference between an academic integrity violation and penalty and a procedural penalty. So for example, if a student is taking a test online and they're required to show a picture of their ID and they fail to do that, that's a procedural violation, not an academic integrity violation. You can give them a 0 or a 50% or whatever penalty you want for not following the procedures. If someone is, a final project is meant to be a paper and someone submits a video, they did not follow the procedural rules of the assignment, you can give them a penalty, and it does not need to go to, it's not an academic integrity issue, you just didn't do what you were supposed to do. So from my perspective, that seems like it could be applied to this, to Chad Kennedy's case. If it's clear that the assignment was meant to be an individual assignment, you didn't follow the procedural rules of the assignment. It's not an academic integrity issue. It doesn't need to go to a committee, and you can, apply a penalty. So I don't know if you can confirm or deny that.
Yeah.
Okay, I
we'll
mean, it seems
clarify that.
consistent.
That's
It
good.
seems sort of consistent with what the other senator at Poly was suggesting, that there's a distinction between like penalties for not doing an assignment correctly or well versus saying it's an academic integrity issue. And maybe we don't have the proof that this is an academic integrity issue, but you can certainly take away points for not doing the assignment as instructed.
Right. Well, those are really good comments, and I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I'm going to weigh in anyway. The thing is, I think what you're saying is correct, but if a student literally goes to an AI bot and says, write me an essay on, the Civil War, whatever it is, and then hands that in. That's, I think, where the concern is. That's a form of, one might say, plagiarism, even though the AI bot's not alive. Now, I don't think this has been completely nailed down, but I urge all of you to pay attention, because the AI committee is doing some amazing work. And the website will be up. A lot of questions are going to be answered. There are webinars going to be starting for faculty and students. And that's an excellent question. And that's an excellent topic for discussion. How will we approach this? Will we consider that an AI bot is that plagiarism or not? You know, those are pretty important questions, but I appreciate your fine distinction there. Yes. It's a provost committee. I can't just, they will be, but you'll all get invitations. Yes, when you, yes, right, I just did that, I think. If you get communication from the AI committee, please involve yourself, participate. And like I said, it's another few weeks before it really all goes live. But the committee itself is already formed. So, but there will be plenty of opportunity to be active. I guarantee you. This is only getting bigger. Okay.
Want to comment?
Please.
This is Denise, the parliamentarian. And we had bets on how long this meeting was going to be today. We expected it to be over 5 o'clock, but I think it was well run. And we had a lot of, there was discussion, there were a lot of motions. We're not used to having those motions. And I just wanted to tell President Dolan, thank you. You were adaptable, and it's not easy to be up here and to have people yelling at her, don't say that, or say that. And so I wanted to thank you. And I also wanted to thank all of you for your patience, because I'm sure some of you are going, what is going on up there? Also related to the first reads and where you can find those, if you look on the agenda online, you can actually click it. And it'll pop up with the date of the first read, the date of the second read, the title of the motion, the action requested, and the rationale. And if you need more information than that, you can probably get permission to enter Koali and see all of the hundreds of pages that people fill out to get a proposal approved. So thank you.
Who would they ask to get permission?
I don't know,
Koali,
before everybody
huh?
was going to be able to do it, but now they're changing.
Okay, in your units, you can, yeah. I know there's so much information coming in
All
everybody.
senators have access to Koala.
Senators
And
have-
if you do not have access to Koala as a senator, you can let me know and we will get you access. Senators only.
I just want to urge you, I know we have so much information coming at us and it's only getting worse, but I think it's really important, if you can find a minute here and there, to dig a little deeper into your Senate. You know, go visit the Senate website, look at past meeting minutes, skim through a couple of the videos, you know, they might be fun, who knows? Go to ABOR. That is super important. ABOR is our kind of, you know, top dog. And we have an ABOR meeting coming up on April 20th. And it will be live, the portion that the Academic Faculties Council are there, and I'm talking at that one. We will be live. Please make it a point if you can, if you're not in class, to watch it. And if you are in class, everything is recorded.
We
This
need
is
to go
like
to West.
monstrous server somewhere.
We need to go to West Campus. Or
Oh,
open
I'm
for.
sorry, West. You were so quiet. Hala, any comments or anything?
Today we are very quiet, no questions.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. Okay, on that note. No, she would have told me. Yes. I do know how to do this part, guys. Okay. All right. Real good at this one. We all cool? Real good? Okay. You are adjourned. You're free to move about the campus. You, girl. The last one, when Michael's here, just kind of chill a little bit.